Hello and welcome to What's News. In an audacious show of progress in technology and engineering, NASA has effectively flown a drone vehicle somewhere most of us won't get the chance, the planet Mars. Monday 19th April 2021 will be remembered as the day the first flight ever taken on another planet actually happened. The small helicopter named Ingenuity is solar powered and took its first baby steps by simply hovering around for a few seconds before landing safely. What makes this all the more remarkable, apart from getting it there in one piece, is that the atmosphere on Mars is extremely thin, less than 1% of the density here on Earth, making it extremely difficult to generate lift. It is seen as a precursor or simple test model for more advanced flying rovers in the future. From here on, Ingenuity's main mission will be to act as the scout for the Perseverance rover and find interesting places for it to visit. In other Mars news, the Perseverance rover has had a breath of fresh air. Using MOXIE, Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment, the Perseverance rover heated up carbon dioxide to 800 degrees C, which allowed the oxygen to be separated from the carbon in the molecule. MOXIE generated about 5 grams of oxygen in its first test, and when it is running at full capacity, it can generate about 10 grams an hour. On Mars, there isn't any oxygen in the air, but the atmosphere is about 95% carbon dioxide, meaning there is a lot of raw materials for MOXIE. MOXIE is a prototype of something that will be incredibly important for the future of settlement on Mars, not as a way of generating air to breathe, but as a way of creating rocket fuel. On Earth, oxygen isn't something we need to worry about, but in space it's a major concern, as there isn't any to allow our rockets to burn. But if the tests continue to be a success, then it will be one of the first pieces of equipment that will allow astronauts to get home from Mars safely. Muons continue to make the news as this story rumbles on into its third show. New research from BMW, not the car company, but the Budapest-Marseille-Wuppertal collaboration has rained on the parade of excitement from the original discovery. Do you remember what was discovered? No? Don't worry, we've forgotten as well. Data has suggested that muons were more magnetic than we had predicted. This could mean that there are more subatomic particles to discover. This new paper has recalculated the data and found that muons are in fact exactly as magnetic as we had predicted, suggesting that the standard model of physics isn't dead after all. While it's important to note that this doesn't disprove the original results, it does create doubts. What muons think of this is anybody's guess, as they are unthinking particles, but it is clear that scientists definitely have opinions on the whole muon situation, and we are pretty sure we'll continue to hear from them in the coming months. Bacteria and fungi are always providing new findings in science these days, as researchers are not only more interested in the things they can do, but they now have the technology and equipment to study these microbes more effectively. Also, these natural processes are environmentally friendly. The latest in this line is a bacterium being put to work to create pure copper. Not just any old copper, but single atoms of it. That was just read. To create this in a laboratory would be incredibly expensive and require the use of some particularly nasty materials. But these little guys will quite happily spit one out for you, providing you feed it. Luckily, it likes to feed on the harmful byproducts created by the copper mining industry that can often contaminate nearby populations with toxic materials. A real win-win situation. This is the first discovery of its kind, but it is hoped that this could be the tip of the iceberg, with more copper-producing bacteria and even some that produce silver or gold likely to be discovered. Some potentially fantastic news from the Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York, where an experimental drug has reversed key symptoms of Alzheimer's disease in mice. Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases are characterized by a buildup of unwanted or waste proteins in brain cells that eventually cause damage. In younger people, these proteins are cleaned up, but as we age, this cleaning up becomes less and less effective, and brain cells can be damaged. Put simply, the drug boosts this cleaning system and keeps the brain cells healthier. The next step is to see if this successful work on the mice can be translated to humans. We love dinosaurs and their relatives here at Xplore, so there was much excitement here when we heard of the discovery of a strange pterosaur fossil that has something quite rare in the animal kingdom, opposable thumbs. On Earth today, animals that have this capacity include some primates, marsupials, bears and birds, all of which climb trees. Other types of dinosaur have been identified as having opposable digits, but it is thought that this particular dinosaur may have used this ability to climb trees in order to feed on insects and other prey that other non-climbing pterosaurs couldn't reach. A new technique was used to scan the fossil while it was still embedded in the rock to create a virtual 3D model, by leaving the fossil undisturbed in the earth it was discovered in northeastern China. It is thought to have lived around 160 million years ago. The new pterosaur has been named in part from the Greek words for opposable and thumbs, and has the less than catchy name of Conpengaterus antipolycatus. Conpengaterus antipolycatus. But we think we'll stick with Monkeydactyl. What I have here is a sample of Vantablack, one of the darkest materials created by science. It absorbs almost all of the light that shines on it. Scientists have now created something on the other end of the scale, the whitest paint yet. This new barium sulfate acrylic paint has a solar reflectance of 98.1%. Barium sulfate is used in many fields, including cosmetics and commercial paint, because of its whiteness. In this paint, it is highly concentrated. The second most important feature is that the barium sulfate particles are all of different sizes, which allows it to scatter and reflect more of the light from the sun, including heat or infrared radiation. This makes it quite literally the coolest paint on record. Professor Ruan estimates that using the paint in sunny areas could have a greater effect on reducing indoor temperatures than conventional household air conditioners. However, our favourite researcher of potential applications of the paint has to be Dr. Lee of MIT, who says, "We looked at various products, basically anything that's white."